What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? It's your main man. I am DJ Double Dose, man. Coming at you, man. We have finally made it, y'all. We are here. It is week 1. I know we got a little teaser last week with week 0. We're not going to talk about Kansas State and Iowa State. And that I get PTSD every time I see that Ireland field because we know what mode that set in motion for said team last year, but we gonna leave that alone. We gonna leave that alone, man. We are in week 1, man. There's no way I could kick off the season without my partner BB is in the building, man. How's everything going, man? How the off season been, man? I just want to know.
Everything good, man. It was different coming off a season that we didn't make the playoffs. So it was a long off season, man. Went into it with an L and the whatever bowl. Used to be the Outback Bowl. So I'm ready to get that taste out of my mouth, man. It's been a long time coming, but we finally here.
I understand, man. Hey, man, look, if you ready to get the taste out of your mouth, your season, you already know. Hey, man, listen, look, what my boy said. Let me turn the page, buddy. I have nothing. I have nothing, but that is a closed chapter. We have moved on, and now we are in week 1. Now, listen,
straight up.
There is a humongous game that I would love to start with, but we're not gonna start there. We're not gonna start with Texas and Ohio State. We're finna start where everybody want to chime in and see what in the world is that we talking about. We starting with where I will be on Saturday inside of Doak Campbell Stadium with Alabama Crimson Tide going up against my Florida State Seminoles. Now, I will say this. Early reports from the broadcast is not good. It looked like they've already reported it. It's going to be raining. Now, it is Florida. You know how it rains. Anybody that's watching this show that's ever taken a trip to Disney or done anything in Florida, you know that it will rain for 30 minutes, stop, and the sun will be back out, and it'll be 95 degrees. So I'm not going to let that rain because, like I said again, it could do it first thing in the morning or it could be after we done. But it is supposed to be some rain in the forecast. Right. And that's where we're going to set the page. So my first question to you is, when you look at this game and you know what you have going into this season, number one, what's the one thing that you're looking for from Bama as the game starts?
So I think the main thing for me is establishing an identity. Last season, I thought that we really struggled with what our identity was offensively throughout the season. It's easy to look at QB1 last year and, with all the talent that he got. Yeah, but with all the talent he got, the coaches, I think, kind of fell in love with, let's make this guy, let's let him run the ball 25 times a game, and then let's let him just air it out, when it's time to throw. And we neglected our running back, so we didn't have any type of identity. So I'm looking forward to establish what our identity is going to be. We don't have a quarterback with wheels like we had last year to bail us out on broken plays and that type of thing. And it's kind of lean on him to do special things that special athletes can do. So it's important for us to establish identity.
And I'm gonna say, and I think with Milroe, I think you weren't part of that. You weren't part of that crowd, but there was a big part of the Bama conglomerate that had their issues with Milroe. And I say, he did what the positions that they put him in, he did the best that he could do within those positions. Now, was he the best quarterback in the world? Some might argue and say hell no, but I don't think he was as bad as a lot of people wanted to make it out to be. I was actually pulling for him because the more and more I heard people talking about the kid, I was actually pulling for him, because if you think about some of the games that you guys won, I personally, I can go to one off the bat. I don't know if you beat Georgia without Milroe.
We do not.
And I think that, now granted, I know somebody could argue back and be like, well, the Tennessee game and when he was on the road, I get that. But at the same token, there were some games that you won. Let's not look at the losses and look at the wins. And there was a few games that you guys pulled out. You won. Had he not been the quarterback,
it don't happen.
You might be looking at more than 3 regular seasons. You know what I'm saying? So along those lines, I just had to say that because I know Bama was heavy. A lot of fans were heavy on, placing a lot of the blame on Milroe and ignoring the good that he did. And I'm like, man, he did some good, and to stay in that lane with us, same thing. I mean, I've seen Tommy Castellanos. I've seen him almost beat. He was the one in the year 23. That was the one game that he almost had us. And then last year, he went to work. So when I hear people say, well, I'm like, man, the kid actually got some in him. And if you go back and you look at the 23 FSU team, that defense was fine. Defense was actually pretty damn good. So for him to do the things that he did against that defense, that gives me a little lens for positivity, just a little bit.
Yeah, well, for sure. And then you got to also think about historically, Bama has struggled against mobile quarterbacks. And one thing Castellanos can do is move. He can throw the ball as well, but exactly, and he's healthy. So, that's nothing to, just overlook. How this kid transferred from Boston College or whatever. The kid got some skills. Like, that was not luck that he almost beat that 13-0 Florida State team a couple of years ago. The kid is legit. He's got some ability. So, that definitely, like I mentioned earlier, special players make special plays. So when you got that under center, that gives you a chance.
And something though, and then you look at it, a lot of people, because the way things happen with him and Bill O'Brien, every time I hear somebody say that, I said, y'all do remember, you Bama fans really remember, Bill O'Brien wanted Jalen Milroe to play tight end.
Right.
So, and we know how much of a monster Jalen Milroe is, right? Tommy Castellanos is like this. So if he wanted Jalen Milroe, if he didn't visualize Jalen Milroe as his type of quarterback,
right?
What you thought he was gonna think about this little short 6-foot dude? Of course, they were gonna bump heads. And like they said, as soon as he got hurt, that's when that's when everything came to a head, because it was just like, hey, now that I done kind of moved on from you, I'm good. Right. And then you looking back like, well, you know what, if he good and I'm good, and it was just a whole mess. So I think Brian had a good point. He said Bama didn't have a real OC last year.
Did not have a real OC, and that was our current OC should have been OC last year. We had
decided a guy he wanted to be in Seattle for whatever that blip was.
Yeah, exactly. And part of the lack of identity that we had was the OC didn't know he was not a good play caller. I can think specifically about that Tennessee game where out of the second half, we ran the ball from inside our own 20, got to midfield, stopped running it, and ended up not scoring on that drive. That changes the game, man. Like when you can run the ball, and Bama traditionally runs the ball, commit to it, man. Don't go away from what's working, right?
Especially if it's working.
Exactly. So a lot of Milroe's struggles last year, a lot of the running back struggles last year was based on no consistency in play calling. So that's going to make a big difference as well, having an experienced play caller.
And I will say this, I think we've heard a lot about Jam getting hurt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. You know me, when I'm talking ball and not on my trolling and my fandom, I looked at a couple Florida State fans that was like, oh man, they out there starting. I said, look, y'all don't live in the state. I know I'm a Florida State fan, but I live in this state, and I have watched an ungodly amount of Alabama football. throughout my life.
Of
And
course.
last I checked, I know Jam Miller was your starting running back. But let's be real. Bama keeps a stable of running backs. I mean, we just gonna keep it a buck. Bama keeps a stable of running backs. So when I heard that and everybody was like, I'm like, oh man, what you think the dude behind him ain't like, bro, that ain't that of all the people that y'all could lose, a running back is probably the one position where it's like, I mean, hope the kid gets better, hope to see him.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, y'all got 2, 3, 4 right behind them, ready to come in. Now that may or may not have something to do with pass protection. Of course, that's when you start talking about deeper parts of the game. Now maybe Young comes in, he may not be as polished in pass protection. So I may give you that. But as far as just his basic job of running the football,
yeah,
he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we got guys, man.
Right.
That's not gonna be an issue. You know, you don't want to have too many injuries, but
Right.
like you say, that's definitely a position where we can afford to have a guy be out for a few games. And Jam is gonna make some plays with us. I mean, for us rather this season when he gets back. Like I said, I hope he comes back healthy, but we don't have to have Jam to win this game. So,
not at all.
No, I'm not worried about that part of it.
And I think, for me, if I ask you number 2, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna throw it back to you. For me, the way because I've looked at this, and the only way that I see that FSU can, if you again take the fandom out and just speak real, the only way that I see that FSU could even possibly pull this out is they got to withstand whatever happens in the first quarter, because it's gonna be an onslaught. And they have to get to the fourth down by 10 or less. It's the only chance they got. I mean, that's it. I mean, if we just being realistic, that is the only chance they got. Because if you make it to the fourth quarter and you somehow only down by 10 or less, that means that y'all done kind of went back and forth. You've gotten some stops throughout the game. And that puts you in that spot. So I would say to you, same question, what do you see the best way to go ahead and handle your business to make sure that it doesn't get even get to that point?
Yeah, and so for me, I think that it's when you're the better team, you can't let the opposition hang around and think that they got a chance, especially when you playing Florida State's coming off a 2-10 season, but it's Florida State, man. And so it's a proud program that's used to winning, and they're at home, so you can't allow them to hang around and think that they got a chance. So I think we got to come out the gates and just pour it on them. I want this game. I want this game to be over by halftime, right?
Hey, you ain't lying. Hey, listen, I don't blame you, because like you said, when you are the viewed upon, like, again, we're a 13-point underdog for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So, and I look at it, I was talking to one of my partners, and he was like, he was talking about Ryan Williams, and I said, look, we saw down the stretch, he wasn't as electric as he was in the beginning of the season. The same way, if I can say Tommy Castellanos is healthy because it's the first game, guess what? Guess who else healthy? Ryan Williams. And I don't know if your offensive coordinator has seen this 3-3-5 that Tony White runs. I don't know. For some people, it confuses them when they see it for the first time. But for others, they've seen it, they know how to digest it, and they know, because the thing about this defense is really feast or famine. It's like either you're going to get big sacks, get into the quarterback, you're going to cause a lot of confusion, you're going to cause some picks, or they're going to sit back and they'll pick your ass apart. It really is no, with this 3-3-5 that he's run, there's not a whole lot of middle in that.
No, that's the truth, man. And so to that point, I'm never comfortable, and I don't care if we're playing Florida State or Georgia or if we're playing Mercer. I'm never comfortable watching a Bama game until we got a 3-score lead. So be that 17 or 21 points or whatever it is, I'm never comfortable. So it's the quicker we can get to a 3-possession, a 3-score lead,
The better
the
you gonna
better
be.
for me. The better I'm gonna be. Now whether that's gonna lead to a victory or not, I don't know, but at least I'll be comfortable and confident that we got our best chance to win. I don't want this game to come into the fourth quarter. If it goes into the
Right.
fourth quarter, then it's anybody's game, and that'll be a good indication that either Bama's not as good as we're projected to be, or Florida State is not as bad as they're projected to be. So, I want to make sure that we put them in their place, and we kind of establish that we are who we're supposed to be again this year.
And you know something, I think, and if I had to give Florida State any advice from me, it's just, just go out there, Gus. Look, they ain't got no tape on you. Just go out there, man, and let it all hang out. We got East Texas A&M, and I want to say Kent State behind this.
Right.
You literally you're not holding this. You have nothing to hold. And then behind that, we got Virginia. So you got 2 for sure winnable games, and you got another one that should be winnable because Virginia is not a great program right now at this moment.
At all.
So,
at all.
Gus, if I just make one plea to you, Gus, just one, let it hang out. Whatever you got, dust off. Look, I'm finna throw back. You won't know. You won't catch what I said. Dust off that old Arkansas State. Dust off that one. The one that got you known. Go back and find that in the crate and pull some shit from out of that one. Like, because your UCF tape wasn't all that great. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't gonna be it.
And timing ain't Cam, so I don't want to go to that playbook because we're gonna pass that. We're gonna pass that. Go back to the shit that made people want to hire you.
Straight up. Yeah, because
go back to that, man.
Tommy good, but he ain't Cam. You're right. Nobody's Cam.
So before we move on to another game, you know what I'm saying? I gotta ask because we gotta hit it. Give me your prediction. I'm putting mine on the line too. I ain't gonna just ask you yours and not give you mine.
Yeah.
Putting mine on the line too. Who you got? And if you can give me a score, I'd greatly appreciate it if you can give me a score.
Yeah, so I was hoping you didn't ask me this, but
I'm holding my feet to the fire too.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going Bama. I just think we're a better team. We got more guys. I like.
You might not lying.
I like our roster. I think our defense has got a chance to be special. I think having the OC it's going to have us going in the right direction. Quarterback is an unknown, but I mean he was a 5-star for a reason. Ty's talented,
and he stayed.
I think we got. Yeah, exactly. So there's something to be said for that. So definitely got confidence that we'll win the game. Had not landed on a score until right before I got on this call. I'm going Bama 38, Florida State 13.
Okay. Well, I was on another show earlier this week. Shout out to my boys Cutting Up. And then they kind of wearing the same way. My man said Bama 42, Florida State 10. I said, God damn. I said, shit. I said, I know this y'all show. I just said, well, God damn. I said, but for me, in order for Florida State to have any chance at pulling this off, because literally nobody expects us to win. That right there, just that little small tidbit for me, because ironically enough, the coach that's 2-10 is under less pressure than the coach that went 9-4, because everybody expects us to lose this shit. So, and Mike is no longer calling plays. He's giving everything over. Well, let me rephrase that. Allegedly, he's giving everything over to Gus. We'll see how that go, because when you were the play caller, it's kind of hard. You're gonna be like itching.
You tempted to jump back in.
So in order for Florida State to even have a chance to possibly pull this shit off, they got to keep it in the 20s. So for me, if I got to stick with that same regard, I would say give me FSU 27-24. Because I can't see I can't imagine a scenario where if we do somehow manage to pull this off, that is by more than single digits. I can't even. That I can't even see that. You know how like when you watch the Avengers and my man said, look, I ain't got but one, it's only one way. It's only one.
Right.
Double digits ain't that one. You know,
so exactly.
Double digits ain't the one. The one is a single digit game. Somehow we mess around and got the ball last and Godspeed on what happened. So you know what?
For sure. And that's the way y'all would have to win it. It would have to be
the only way.
27, 24, 21 type of game. So yeah, that aligns with the only way that y'all can win.
That's it. That's the only way I see it, man. So all right, so we went and got that out the way. I knew that that's what most of y'all was coming on here to see. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to another game where I think both teams got a lot to damn prove. Let's go ahead and slide on to Clemson and LSU.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this because I got a lot of LSU homeboys I'm cool with. I'm going to say this. At some point, you got to break the damn streak. You have lost to Pac-12 teams, Big Ten teams, ACC teams for the last, 5 straight? You own 5 straight season openers, L's. So at some point, the damn streak got to break. However, I will say, just before we get into the end part, looking at Clemson and you look at LSU, they are very similar. They both got 2 veteran-led quarterbacks. They both got 2 great wide receiver rooms. And they both arguably have a chance to win their conference. Now, a lot of SEC folks to be like, hey, it is what it is. But LSU is they're one of the few teams that could possibly make some noise and pull it off. So
for sure.
So when I look at this matchup, I'll just say before I kick it to you, I think it means more to LSU than it does to Clemson, only because Clemson is in the ACC. Absolutely. And outside of Miami, Clemson should be okay, no matter what happens in this game. I don't know if LSU can afford an L again, what that would do to them as they get ready to go into SEC play.
No, I agree completely. LSU got to have it. That'll set the table for how their season is gonna go. Now, of course, they've bounced back well after losing these last 5 season openers. They've bounced back well and had, pretty successful seasons. Relatively.
One of the years they made it to the SEC title game. One of them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not necessarily a death sentence, especially with the playoff being expanded. So, it doesn't eliminate them by any stretch of the imagination, but eventually it starts to play on your psyche that, man, we can't get over the hump in these big games, right?
You keep scheduling them.
Yeah, and we're not winning them. Yeah, exactly. So at some point you got to win, right? And I think that to your point, they're both similar teams. They both got experienced quarterbacks who are extremely talented, but are extremely frustrating as well, right? Both Klubnik and Nussmeier they can make throws or make plays that like you've never seen before, and then come right back and like, how in the world could the kid that made that last play?
You were junior. You've been seeing dumb INT. Right. You've been seeing this for a while. You know what I'm saying?
This should not be those same things that were happening when they were sophomore and freshmen should not still be happening, but they do, right?
Right.
So which one of those guys can get that out of their system? I think it's going to kind of determine which one of these teams win. I think that Brian Kelly is an outstanding coach, but sometimes he likes to prove that he's the smartest guy in the room and kind of gets in his own way in these big games. And
clearly,
I hate to say it, but I think that's going to be the determining factor. I think on the other extreme, Dabo gets kind of conservative in these big games, but I think that's going to serve him well in this game. Just kind of sit back and let Nussmeier give you the ball enough times if you're Clemson, and hang on for a close win. I don't know if we're ready for a prediction or not yet, but
I got one question for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Has LSU figured out what the hell they want to do with Harold Perkins? Just a question, because we've seen him as a freshman, and he was I mean, that Arkansas game, bro, he looked like how Sue looked in that Big 12 championship. Like, I mean, he was literally the best person on the field in that game. Since then, they have moved him. He's gotten hurt. And it's like, and he's still there. We know the talent is there.
It's there.
It's like, so it's nothing to unlock. You know, sometimes you hear to say, well, we got to unlock this out of this kid.
Yeah.
No, it's there. Y'all keep putting them in the wrong damn spot. And it's like, for me, that is where LSU wins or loses this game, is at this moment. Because, I mean, at this point, I think Perkins, if he's not a junior, he a red shirt, whatever it is, he's been there for a while. So, so it's like, whatever you decide to do with him, I know somebody like, that's a lot to put on that thing, but I'm saying, like, that defense can, when you got Whit Weeks, and then you pair that with everybody from everything they said out of camp, they like what their secondary looks like this year. So really the main X factor is, what do you do with Harold Perkins? Have you figured out what to do with him? That's my fear, is wondering, have they figured out what to do with Harold Perkins?
No, absolutely, man. And it kind of reminds me of a few years ago when we had Minkah Fitzpatrick, and we were just fascinated with just moving him around the secondary just because he could play every position.
Right.
But he was like, and he was good at every one of them. But man, he was outstanding as a free safety. So put him where he's outstanding as opposed to just moving him around just because he could. So that's the same thing that LSU is doing with Perkins. He is a dynamic, outstanding game changer if you put him at rush edge, right? Let him play edge.
Let him come in and let him go out and let him eat. Like, I don't get.
Go get the quarterback. All I want you to do is go get the quarterback. I don't even want you to play run support. Go get the quarterback. And he can change the game that way. But they're just, because he can stand up and play outside. He can play middle. He can play interior line if you want him to. Just because you can move him around don't mean that you should. Go get the quarterback, man. That should be the only job that he has. And if they do that, you're right. He can change the game.
Yes, because like you talked about earlier about Klubnik, if he's doing what we know or what we have seen him do, he will wreck shop on Clemson. And all this that we're talking about it being a shoot or whatever the case may be won't matter, because when that guy's on, when that light is on and he is on, he's unstoppable. And Clemson does not have the line to be able to deal with that when he's on. So for me, I feel like they need, like I said at the start, they need this more than Clemson. I feel like we hear coaches say they don't hear the outside talk. They don't hear it. Yes, they do. They read. Brian Kelly knows. He knows, look, these games, he knows he has come up short time and time again. So I feel like LSU, and you have the quarterback. We already know how he pissed away Jaden Daniels. We're not going to talk about that. But we're not going to talk about it. You had a Heisman Trophy winner, but you couldn't pair it with a deep anyway. So for me, give me LSU in this one. I'm going to take LSU in this one. I got LSU walking in and coming out with the victory. I ain't got a score on it. I'm just going to I'm taking LSU in this one.
Okay. I got you. I'll give you a score. The score going to be 28-24. Before we start talking about Perkins, I was leaning Clemson. I might have talked myself into going LSU. I don't know. So I'm still on the fence on a prediction. If I had to say somebody right now, I'm going to stick with Clemson because that's who I was thinking initially. 28-24. I'm pretty solid on that score. I think it's going to be an outstanding game.
Me too. I do.
28-24 is going to be a fourth quarter game, last possession game. Slight lean Clemson. We might have to come back and edit this on Friday evening, and I might say LSU next time.
I got you. All right, so we got two more. We're going to go on with the big one. We got to hit it. We got to go up top. You got, again, that's why I love talking to you, because you don't have them blinders on like some. You got Texas, #1 team in the nation. They got all the hype. Last year, I know I got a couple homies that, oh my God, they be like, man, you low-key like Texas. I said, nah, I don't low-key like Texas. It's that a lot of SEC fans thought that Texas was gonna come in here and not do what they're supposed to do. But I'm like, y'all forgot what that man that's coaching them, who he learned under, who got him right. Although he was a head coach prior to coming to Bama, he was, but who got him right?
He a different guy.
He a different guy
now.
So he learned how to really build a program. And if you take your hate out your heart, you go look at the way he's building Texas. Now, right now, they got a lot of injuries up front, but that don't mean that he didn't recruit heavy up front. It just so happened that right now, they're a little banged up. So you got Texas and you got the defending champions, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say, but give what you thinking? What are you looking for from Ohio State first on that side, knowing what they lost?
Yeah, so offensively they lost a lot. Say what you want to about Will Howard, but he was literally the perfect quarterback for them last season. Just with those running backs they had, and they keep a stable of wide receivers, right? He was perfect for them. And losing him is a big deal. Sayan is talented, definitely more talented than Will Howard. But first time starter, it's gonna be a lot to ask of him, right?
He's at home.
He's at home, and he got number 4 on his side, man.
We don't know what you can do. Hey, fuck it. He out there.
Man.
He out there. Hey, you know what? He out there somewhere. Just go get it. Hey, Matthew Stafford made a living throwing the cabin just like that.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
you made me look good.
He throwing it duck, right?
Right.
But I think that I want to see them come out early and get Sayan comfortable.
Right.
Draw up some quick hitters to Smith, because Smith, one of those guys, dynamic, man. He catch a short one and go 80 yards. And that'll do a lot to kind of boost his confidence. And how does Ohio State replace those coordinators? Right, Chip Kelly's not there anymore.
That's what people miss, and like they lost both
coordinators. Right.
You lost both of them.
And Brian Hartline stepped in as the OC, Matt Patricia as the DC. I mean, I don't get
that was pretty much Patricia. So we keep the recruiting with Hartline. Like, I don't know if he's ready to be the OC or not, but you can't let him go because you know what his track record is.
You got to keep him in house, man.
Right.
He's got to be ready for the job, right? And so, I mean, game 1, he's got a real test, man. So, we got to see what those coordinators gonna look like and what that young quarterback is gonna look like, and we're gonna find out early. We need to find out early, and that's gonna determine how successful they're gonna be. Maybe not only in this game, but throughout the season.
And see, you know what? And I know a lot of people. I know it's Arch, and I know we already know what the hype is, and we already know. But I've heard from a few places they just like, he's in that environment, he's in that moment. It's gonna be his. I'm like, man, listen. Look, that man got 2 Super Bowl winning uncles who are both not doing anything right now. Right. If you think for 1 second, the same way we've reached out to our uncles for life stuff. Like this on our regular life, we've reached out to our uncles on life stuff. Sure. You think for 1 minute that this kid all summer ain't talked to his 2 uncles who are not working for no NFL team? They literally are like, hey, what's up? They're answering the phone. You think that this boy has not talked to his uncles and have not? I mean, so think about it. You got Sark as a mastermind, as your coach.
Absolutely.
You got 2 uncles that you can sit down and literally sit down and break down film with 3 masterminds.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that Texas is going to go in here and blow Ohio State out. Not by a long shot. but I think that Texas is going to win this comfortably. I don't think it's going to be as
Okay.
close as people think. I
Okay.
really, Ohio State lost a lot. When you're talking about
They did.
replacing two running backs that both got drafted, you know how hard it is to get drafted running backs. Both
Yeah.
of them. You're replacing Will Howard, who, like you said, don't sleep on Will Howard and what he contributed.
Absolutely.
Not to mention the heart and soul of that defense. So, yeah, like, I mean,
Yep.
it's a lot. I mean, and I know they recruit, and I know the whole saying of we reload, and I get it.
Yep.
But it took a lot for Ryan Day to finally get over that hump.
It did. Absolutely.
And he's over the hump
Absolutely.
now. Like he's over the hump now. I'm not saying that they're gonna have a letdown year, but when you look at the magnitude of this game, for me,
Yep.
I think that Arch is gonna be ready for the moment. And ultimately, I don't even think it's gonna come down to him. I think that Texas' defense is gonna do enough with Colin Simmons, with
Sure.
Hill. I think they're gonna do enough in this game to, because again, Jeremiah, we know he gonna get his. There's no kind of, you got to go into it like they're not gonna shut Jeremiah down. He's gonna get his.
Absolutely not.
He's probably
Yep.
gonna get 100 and some change. Sure, he's gonna get a touchdown, and
Yep.
and that's okay. But that was not why Ohio State won last year. They
That's
won
true.
because of them backs, and we
That's
don't
true.
know what Peoples and all of them are gonna do. We don't know. So for me
No,
and this,
no, that's true.
so for me in this one, I'm taking Texas.
Okay.
Give me Texas 31-17.
Okay. Oh,
I got to win by double digits.
okay. And I just kind of touch on your point about Arch. This is like his first real start, and
Mhm.
11 o'clock kickoff, which Fox got to do away with that, man. This game is too
Hey,
big to
look,
be on at
man, that
11
was their
o'clock in the
deal. That
morning,
was their
bro.
deal with the devil they
That's,
signed, man.
man, that is
They
so
saw a
terrible.
lane. Look, they saw a lane,
Yeah, a
and it
little
was
sliver of
cool
light, man.
at the
Look,
time.
all money ain't good money,
Oh,
Big
but
Ten.
it's
Like
good,
y'all wrong for this, man. But
this should
Arch
not
got
be no 11 o'clock kick,
it
man.
should not be, man. It should not be. This should be under the lights at the shoe, man. Yeah. Okay, I'll move on from that. But this is a crazy environment for Arch to get his first start, and like all of the elements that you talked about with his uncles being who they are. Don't sleep on his granddad being
And
who he is, right?
I
You
ain't
know,
even want to bring him up. I'm like, look,
yeah, but
the
but
man
hey,
got a
that's
tree. You feel me?
he
This man
does,
got a
man.
tree, a
He
whole
does.
tree
That's
that he can
part of
tap
the
anytime he
equation.
want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that he's made for this moment, right? Um, he would be, if he doesn't pan out, he'd be the first Manning quarterback that ain't any good, and so I just don't foresee that happening. And then, like you said, Sark is gonna draw it up, dial it up for him, perfect. So um, he's got the chance to be really successful this season in this game in particular. All of that said, I'm going give me the Ohio State.
Okay.
I think being home, um, I think by being an 11 o'clock kick definitely favors them. I think
For
saying
sure.
is going to be special, and we already know Jeremiah Smith is special, and so I think that those elements I think kind of outweigh everything that
Mhm.
Texas has kind of in their favor in terms of the talent, and um, Sark is light years ahead of what Ryan Day as a head coach, in my opinion, and prob- he's probably the best play caller I've ever seen
He
in college
is.
football. And so all of that stuff that Texas has going for him, I still believe that 11 o'clock kick at the horseshoe is just such a huge advantage for Ohio State. Give me Ohio State in a little bit of a low scoring game. I got Ohio State 24, Texas 17.
Gotcha. And before we walk out of here, you know what? I gotta take a shot for some hate. I gotta take a shot for some hate. You know, I gotta take a shot for some
Oh,
hate. Do you
yuck.
standalone game versus Notre Dame? Our runner-ups from last year that literally nobody saw coming. Last season, I think last season was so crazy. If I was to tell you some of the scenarios and how last season shaked out, if I tell you that Notre Dame would have lost the game that they lost early in the season, but yet they were going to play for the national championship, they were going not the playoffs, they were going to be in the last game, you would have been like, whatever, Ben, what is you smoking? Let me make them bets. Right. If I would have told you that Ohio State would have lost to Oregon and lost to that bad Michigan team, not win the Big Ten, but was going to be the national champion, you'd have like, come on, Ben. Hey, man, what kind of predictions you got going on, dog? I'm not following you. And then I could, I hate to bring it up to y'all, but if I were to tell you that y'all was going to beat Georgia, Kirby was going to choke against y'all.
Kirby was going to Kirby.
But y'all was going to lose to Vandy. You would have kicked me out your house. You'd have like, Ben, we cool, bro, but you got to go, man. I don't know what kind of predictions you got going on, but brother, ain't nowhere in the world that ain't nowhere in the world you gonna tell me we finna beat Georgia and turn around and lose to Vanderbilt.
Or lose to Vandy the next week. Ain't happening.
So it's like, so I had to say, when you talk about Miami, you talk about Notre Dame, you got two teams right now that are definitely on different sides of the spectrum. You got Miami. It's real simple. What are you going to get from Carson Beck? If you're Miami, are you going to get the good Carson Beck, or do we not know how he's coming back from the surgery? What version of Carson Beck are you going to get? And I think that will answer a lot of questions for what Miami wants to do within this season.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I agree with you on that, man. I think that Beck at his best is really good. But I've seen him too many times. If you move him off his spot, he make a bad play, it snowballs for him, right? And so how can he find that balance? And how much pressure is on him, everybody knowing how much bread he getting with his NIL deal. And if we're being honest, his tenure at Georgia was a disappointment, really.
It really was.
So he's probably playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. But does that propel him to, get to a level where, he's in the Heisman conversation, in the number one pick conversation type of deal, or does it push him to press and he becomes bad Carson Beck? They're going to go as far as Carson Beck will take him, I believe.
They are, and you know what? The thing that's being overlooked from Miami is, you can't overlook Restrepo. I think a lot of people that didn't, I was, again, being an ACC person, I watched a lot of Miami football. I literally stayed up and watched that game against Cal that they should have lost. I watched the game against Virginia Tech. I watched the game against Virginia Tech where the touchdown got overturned. I watched way too much Miami football for my own liking. But what happens when you do watch that, you do see the one guy that pops on the screen. And I know Cam Ward did his thing.
Absolutely.
But Restrepo, that was the heartbeat of that team.
Absolutely. Like Restrepo was that guy.
Whenever Cam needed a play, he was looking for Restrepo. He wasn't looking, whenever he needed a play, whenever he needed something big, if he didn't get it with his legs, that shit went to Restrepo. That's where that ball 100%. Went. So it's like, when you lose Cam Ward and you lose that, man, that's a lot, man. I think we've gotten so used to, because now in this NIL era, it's like, hey, man, they're getting paid. We kind of forget that these are still college kids. And there wasn't a lot of people behind. I mean, I know they got Trader. I know they got Josiah, and I know he's supposed to be the next one for Miami, but all summer long, is rumors he been walking around in the boot. They say he's gonna be okay. We'll find out Sunday when they play. Right. But I think for me, Notre Dame, by them having that security blanket with Jeremiah Love, I think that's for me. I feel like that's going to be enough for them to be able to go into South Beach and take care of it, because they'll be able to protect Carr. It's like, hey, look, if nothing else, we just need you to not turn the ball over and let this kid do his thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't make it to the championship game because of Riley Leonard.
Did not. That's real.
They didn't make it there because of Riley Leonard. That was not the reason that they was playing for the championship game. It was not because of Riley Leonard. Let's be clear.
It's not.
I do want to say one because of Jeremiah Love, cool, but I know he was more of a factor than Riley Leonard. Just
absolutely. No, absolutely, man. And I agree completely with all of that. And I think Carr was named QB1 because of Love. They know what Marcus Freeman can coach, man.
He can coach, man.
And he knows what it takes to win. And I think that they're gonna protect Carr. They're gonna put him in situations to be successful as well. But they're gonna lean on Love. It's gonna be a heavy dose of Love getting that rock Sunday evening. And man, I think Notre Dame handles business, man.
Yeah, man. I think, I think the same goes for me, man. I got Notre Dame pulling this out. I know a lot of people that watch the show that, man, then that show hater take. And it's a mixture of both. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, I don't know what Carson Beck is gonna look like after this injury. I know we like to be like, people come back from injury and they back and they ready and they snap back and they ready to go. This is an injury on this man's throwing arm. And this is a talk that this is not, Miami has been known to play FAMU and Bethune-Cookman and some of, FIU and some of the other schools down in that area. This ain't that. They are literally starting this season with Notre Dame, the runner-ups from last year.
Yeah.
You just said Marcus Freeman can coach. So they are going to need Beck to be that Beck right now. Like they're not warming up into this. You see what I'm saying? They don't have, it's not like they got this game where they're playing against nobody and they can, couple dump balls, the running back, the defense take over and yada, 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 and bada bing, we up, boom. No, he's going to have to be on in order for them to win this game. They're going to need him because I don't know if that defense that Miami has is rebuilt. You know how the portal goes. It give it, then it take it away. Like, you may have a bunch of guys from the portal and they may mesh and it may work great. Or you have a bunch of guys from the portal and it don't work. And they take a couple of weeks to get it together. You know what I'm saying? It might not be in week one that they get it together. They may get it together when they get the ACC play, but it may not be there right now. So for me, I'm with you. I'm taking Notre Dame in this one. Hey, Miami fans, I'm gonna leave it at that. So man, look, man, BB, man, I really truly appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, man.
This year we definitely got to do this a couple more times for sure, man.
I'm with it.
I love your insight. I love having you on, man. You definitely, hey man, you be on folks' head a little bit on that little blue app. You know what I'm saying? Because they come at you not want to talk ball. Like, hey, one thing about my partner, hey, talk ball, he gonna talk ball back. BB don't talk troll.
At all. I don't know that language at all, brother.
So man, appreciate you for following through, man. Thank y'all all, man. Look, we had a lot of people entertained, man. A lot of questions I'm gonna try to answer once we get off the air, man. Man, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for coming through, man. Always remember, like I say, man, live, laugh, and love, man. Live your life to the fullest. Love on the people that love you back and find you something to laugh at each and every day. And we made it, y'all. And we out, man.
Roll Tide.